Hey y'all, I'm back again. This time for to give you a little insight into our discussion this week. Context at home, the interview. Dun dun dun. Now, don't plots, don't freak out. Okay, let me stress that this is an initial step to planning an interview with an archaeological professional. Okay. Um, the interview is not due until Module 6. So you got some time, breathe, don't freak out. Okay? But you do need to start thinking about, locating a professional, an archaeologist, or a geologist. Either are fine for me. Okay? Or you could find like a paleoanthropologist or something like that. Most likely you probably won't unless you're dealing with a university or institution of that sort. But archaeologists, geologists, pretty available. And good places that you want to start looking are colleges and universities. Go check out their anthropology departments. Okay, it's just a little internet searching. Right, it's no big deal. And you might even go ahead and make initial contact. But don't let me. Sorry, I'm jumping ahead. Right now it's just all about planning who and where and what. Okay, so state parks are another good source for archaeologists and geologists. Historic Preservation Office, often called the SHPO, State Historic Preservation Office. Every state has one. You can go look them up online. They will always have contact information because one of their key responsibilities is addressing the public. Okay. Yeah, there might even be, depending where you live, various tribal groups. Like here in the state of Oregon, there are tribal organizations everywhere, and the vast majority of them all have cultural resource specialists. Okay, they'll have a cultural resource management program within the political structure of the tribal organization. For example, my brother is the head of cultural resource management for the Grand Ronde. Okay, that's a tribal group here in Oregon. So you could, don't go look at my brother. But if you were to have a Native American tribe in your region, that could also be. Heads up, warning, sometimes they're not so thrilled about outsiders sticking their nose in their business. Just a tip. Excuse me, I got a cough. This cold is no joke. National Park Service is another good one. If you got a national park in your area, you can go look up their website and look up their contact information. Other good sources are engineering companies or environmental assessment groups. We got this thing called Section 106. Which pretty much guarantees CRM folks a job, because any land disturbing activity that involves state or federal funds has to have a cultural resource assessment, and that's usually kind of swallowed up and encapsulated by environmental assessment groups, okay, that are also contracted, right? For example, my old contract firm had unique relationships with several different environmental assessment agencies, groups, not agencies. They're not state or federal. They're privately owned companies. But they would subcontract us, right, to do the cultural resource survey, right, on the same chunk of land, right? So we kind of worked in concert. Those are other things you can go check out. The cultural resource management groups that work in your area, right? Or environmental assessment groups that work in your area. They might be able to point you to some good ones. And another good one is the environmental division of your local state government or county government, things like that. Now, you're going to have to locate your interviewee. Who are you going to interview? That's the point of me explaining about all those different sources that you can go explore. Who are you going to interview? And then you got to start planning your interview. What are you going to be focusing on, right? What sorts of questions are you going to ask? Why are you going to ask those particular questions? What's the significance of them? What do you hope to get out of it, all right? Yeah, sitting here looking over. But right now, the big thing is just finding your interviewee, not the interview itself. Okay? You got until module 6 to actually do the interview, but right now we're just getting we're planting seeds, getting geared up. Now, for the actual discussion part, right, that's all the busy work that you got to do to actually participate in this discussion. But for the actual participation, share your journey of finding the interviewee. What did you do? What steps did you have to go through? What sorts of sites? What hoops? What incredible feats did you have to do to go find this person? Okay, have fun with it. You can make it. You can be really rigid. You can be like, step 1, I did blip. Step 2, I did bloop. And, if you're going to go that route, I want lots of steps. Okay. But you could also write it as a story, as a narrative, right? So, this is what I did. I started by blah, 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 and then I blah, 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 blah. And blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. I hope that makes sense. Share frustrations, right? Issues, obstacles, things like that you encountered that you're like, what? I didn't realize I'd have to, deal with that. If the folks are really hard to find, explain how hard they are to find, right? Those are important things to be able to share with our class, okay? And in your response, right, times 2, you got to compare your challenges, the issues that you faced, right, obstacles you overcame, and your successes, and compare, contrast to at least 2 other classmates, right? And don't be like, yes, we had the same problem. Explain what the problem was. How exactly was it the same? Okay. I am a devil for the details, right? In fact, as it's a saying that I've heard my whole life, the devil is in the details, right? Well, that's what I'm talking about here. Always err on being more descriptive than not so descriptive. Be sure to include the website, or the site of the place that you're finding your interviewee. That's always a nice thing to include. Hint, hint, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Have fun with it. That's what I really want you to do. Because if this is just a ridiculous, laborsome task, no one's going to have any fun, and it's just going to be, oof. And I'd much rather have it be like, oh yeah. So, double checking my notes here. Be sure to read the full description of the discussion, when you're actually doing the interview. You can start thinking about that now. You want to be looking at weather conditions in your area and how those conditions affect the preservation of archaeological sites, features, artifacts, yada yada. Identify what natural and cultural agencies are of greatest concern in your area, right? And that's a really relative question. So it's going to be unique to each area. Okay. And you'll present your findings to these questions in the Module 6 discussion, right? You can add more questions. In fact, I strongly encourage you to, right? But those are some basic ones you want to include. And I'll talk more about those in future discussion posts. But for right now, plan of attack. Who are you going to find, right? And how are you going to find them? And share your experience about that. Cool. That's where I'll leave this, and I'm looking forward to your all stories. Take care.